We have a very special guest in studio today. He is the CEO of the Mule Group, LLC, the great and powerful Jason Muehlheausler. Welcome to the show, sir.
Welcome, sir.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah, well, we were just talking about working out a little bit ago, but I wanted to refrain from asking this until we were on the air because I was like, I'm not going to ask you this twice. What the fuck do you do for training? Because you're built like a fucking Avenger.
Yeah. That's Pat already knows. I've been playing sports forever, and I've been lifting for 15 plus years now, just heavy as you can go, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm 6'6", 268 pounds for anyone that can't see me right now.
Yeah. He makes me feel small.
Yeah.
Which not a lot of people do, but yeah.
Yeah. So like, how many days a week are you training? What's your training split like?
Well, I'm on
what do you eat?
everything, unfortunately. Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, and it's just basically legs Mondays, chest and everything on Tuesdays, and then shoulders Thursdays and back Fridays. But I do more of like lower reps, much heavier weight. Like I'm almost maxing like every time I lift, basically.
Really?
Yeah, my body's just gotten used to it, but that seems to be what I respond well to rather than higher reps.
Slow weight.
Yeah.
And that's what you were doing for football?
No. They were doing more of the like we would be doing clean and jerks and holding the bar, and if anyone dropped it, they'd start us over is what they were doing when I was down there.
Good old Terry.
Yeah, good old Terry.
Wow.
And, he would kill us. But that was definitely more cardio. Which is funny because like you go to the pros, like talking to Clay Harbor after he went to the Eagles and shit, they would do more like this stuff, like more heavier and lower reps, and then
that makes sense because I mean you gotta be strong as fuck to play in the NFL.
Yeah, that's you think I'm big, way different level there.
Dude, you're a giant. But what's your diet like?
Right now it's really about anything. I did. Pat knows that I started a divorce in like October, and like I needed to take my mind off of it, so I started doing 75 hard. But I basically ate no carbs for 75 days.
That's kind of what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, which sucks, but like you get to like day 7 of keto, and like everything kind of switches over, and all of a sudden you have plenty of energy, and you're not craving carbs anymore. So it's not as bad as it sounds, but it's different, right?
No, it's different. Yeah, I've been doing. This is my third week. Or well, we're not doing we're just doing. I've done that a few times. We're doing the carnivore diet, where literally it's just like I literally just ate almost a pound of brisket for lunch.
Oh yeah,
it's been great. I feel good, and like the weird part is like you don't get hungry.
No, yeah,
like that's like the weird part. I gotta like remember to eat.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden because I still track my food because I've been tracking my macros now for a long time, and it's just something I'm still tracking as I'm doing this, just to kind of see where I'm at with calories and protein and everything. And like all of a sudden I'll look around and be like, man, I really haven't eaten much today, but like I'm not hungry. It's kind of a weird. I'm always hungry like after workouts and stuff, but it's you're just like satiated from all the protein all the time. Which is cool.
And you start learning some tricks and stuff. It gets easier to eat, but like the most interesting thing I found is like when you're looking for products that have no carbs in them, there's like nothing at the grocery store. Everything's got some kind of sugar in it, which is like, oh, this is why we're all fat,
right? So for sure, 100%. Yeah. I mean, like the only thing I'm allowing myself a little bit of fruit here and there, like it just like for energy for workouts, and that's pretty much it. Like on the way to the gym, or I ate like 2 cuties before the gym today, I'm not eating anything crazy or like a banana or something, but like that and just meat, eggs, and dairy. And that's all I've been eating for the last
I got
couple
a
weeks.
nice little hack for you.
Yeah,
do you like pizza?
Yeah, of course.
They do the ground chicken crust pizza, like
I've
0
seen
carbs.
That.
Man, I was eating that every day.
Really?
Yeah, and it's actually really good.
Where do you buy the crust?
There's a company that they'll sell you actually the crust pre-made, and it comes like with the dried ice and everything to keep it cold, but you can make it yourself. I'm too lazy for that, so I was just buying it from that.
What about like cauliflower crust?
Dude, cauliflower always fucking fucks with my stomach, dude.
Really?
I don't know. Anytime I've tried like the cauliflower pizza crust or anything like that, because I have tried it before, I have like my stomach is just destroyed.
When I was trying to get away from too much rice, like I was crushing rice. Like I love rice. Yeah. And so to like mix it up a little bit, I was doing like cauliflower rice, and I mean I was going through massive bags of this frozen cauliflower rice, like almost probably 2 bags a week.
Wow.
That's how much I was eating. Like I was just crushing rice. And so I was like, I need to get rid of some of this. And so I switched it over to the cauliflower rice. And I mean, you can't taste the difference. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, I like it. It just fucks. I just have just guaranteed to have diarrhea.
Oh, I say it's all fiber.
Yeah, exactly.
Just straight gas.
Yeah. Just guaranteed to have diarrhea the next day for me. So, well, Jason, you played college football. What's one lesson from the locker room that more business owners need to learn today?
So when you go to college football, especially we had, as Pat knows, because you guys were both down there, but he knows a bunch of the guys I played ball with. Like some of them are freaks, so it's like it's constant rejection and constant trying to build yourself up to beat out the next person. So it's like, I don't know a better example of how to be successful in business. Cause like, you're not, what's the statistic? Like every 8 businesses, only one of them succeeds. So it's like, I've started several other businesses and failed. But it's like, there was that, what I learned from football to keep going and, had to constantly handle rejection to keep trying something else until something finally worked out basically. But that's all coming from football and battling guys that went to the NFL and stuff and never being you're the one that's going to be starting and that kind of stuff from football that kind of built that mentality up in me.
Yeah. I had the same, I played high school football. So, but you're always battling, every week, if your position's up for grabs, if you're fucking up on practice and, you don't know the play or, you take a wrong read and, Vegas, get out, you get in, and you're like, fuck, and then, with wrestling, it was even, we'd have like not weekly. It was like monthly wrestle offs, because you've got a position, you've got a weight class for everyone, but like, hey man, if there's 2 guys that are the 145ers, like we're battling out for who's the starter, and it's just like a constant thing. And yeah, I mean that totally applies to business.
Well, if you think about it, it's like there's people out there that maybe didn't have those experiences that like they would let stuff that comes up in business that would shut someone down. Right. It's like we have no choice. We just keep going, put your head down, and keep battling for what's next. Right.
For problem solving. I mean, what do we need to do to get better? Or fix it? I mean, like what you guys were talking about. Same thing with baseball. You have one in college. I thought pitching in college, it wasn't necessarily tougher, but there was more pressure because like if I had one bad outing, then I probably wasn't going to pitch for a few weeks. Where with pro ball, like no, we're gonna get you back out there and in a normal rotation. And so, but yeah, I mean you're constantly having to make adjustments on the fly, figure out what the hell's going on, what went wrong, why did it go wrong, and how can we fix it. And I think that's a lot of shit that sports in general, not just football, baseball, but sports in general teach people. And that's, I mean, like I only recruit, like when it comes to my team, athletes, because they know how to problem solve.
Well, it's like you don't even have the option of getting down on yourself. You know what I mean? It's you're so built up that you just move past it. Because if you do let it get down on yourself and you're thinking about your past failures, you'll lose.
It's a completely different mentality that athletes have, especially high level athletes that most don't understand. So,
yeah. Well, how did you get into insurance? Was that something you always wanted to do? Or
I actually was selling steel for a steel company. I'm going to go into a little bit of backstory.
Go for
it.
We got time.
How I got into it. There was a company in Weldon Springs called Tubular USA. They sold a specialized tube steel that was galvanized, pre-galvanized. I won't go through the whole process. When I went in there, I just absolutely killed it. Did like $3 million in sales in my first year. To give you an idea, like the next guy on the list of sales, like did that in 10 years, but I did in 1. So they had a management position come open, and like my boss thought I was going to get it for sure. It was out of a position in Kansas City. He's like, "Be ready to move, man. They're gonna pick you." And through basically some political buddy bullshit, they hired some other guy that didn't come close. I was like, well, what the hell am I doing here? You know what I mean? Because that, if they're going to pass me up now, what else could I do? So I ended up getting like my master's, going back to the sports, not getting down on yourself. I always, whenever something bad happens to me, I go internally and I try to do something to make myself better. So I got my master's, and then I was headhunted by United Healthcare to run a Medicare program here in St. Louis for about 40 long-term care facilities, a specialized product. And
so they just recruited you?
From the
steel industry?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, they saw that I had a base 10, 15 years in sales with a master's. I had posted it on LinkedIn. I had basically the hiring manager reach out to me like, you interested in trying some health insurance? I was like, well, I'll talk about it. Got into that and started doing that. And I realized like, oh my God, people actually use this. It helps them. Like it's something like, cause selling steel to business owners that are building playgrounds and stuff. It's like, they're just making money. They're worried about their bottom line. I never felt like I was actually helping someone, if that makes sense. When I got into the health insurance and the Medicare stuff, it's like, no, these people need to know what their policies are doing, what's going to be the best policy that cover, whatever medical conditions and stuff they have come up. So it's like, I was, that was where I needed to be. Learned enough from there and started my own brokerage. In about 2017. And what was reason that I kind of pushed to leave United Healthcare and do that was I had 300 clients from the time at United Healthcare, but I had family members coming to me for more product help. And it's like, when you're working directly for a carrier, you can only sell that one product. So I was like, well, I'm missing a lot of opportunity by not representing all the carriers and being an independent broker. That's when I went and started my own brokerage and doing it ever since.
Oh, since 2017.
Yeah.
Nice. It's awesome.
Well, what's something that most people misunderstand about Medicare and health insurance as a whole?
Health insurance in general, it's like unfortunately, like most people don't even understand their summary of benefits with their plans. They don't understand what a deductible is. They don't understand how their plan works. So they'll go to a doctor that maybe a situation isn't covered right away and don't realize they have a deductible. Then they'll get mad at the carrier. And it's like, well, it probably not the carrier's fault. It's probably whoever sold them that plan or the employer group that put them in that plan. And they didn't explain to them how the plan works. It's a contract, right? So as long as they understand the plan, they'll know how to work within that plan to get, whatever they need covered or how it should work. And it's like most of the time they're mad because they just didn't really understand how their plan works. So that's why when we're working with people, we just make sure we're going through every line. Like, this is how it's going to work. If you have a primary care visit and it's preventative, it's 100% covered. But let's say you get poison ivy, you will have a copay for $50. It's not a preventative visit anymore. And just making sure they understand how they're going to get billed and stuff. And that tends to solve all those issues.
Yeah. No, I mean, I feel like most people, I mean, myself included, I don't exactly understand my whole health insurance plan.
Yeah.
Like anytime something happens, I always call the guy that set me up and I'm like, hey, what do I do here? Is this covered? Or what do I do?
And that's typically that's how it goes for most people. Unfortunately, it's like they're just not no one's going down line by line and showing them how it works. And to be fair too, that's like, you go in there and like, some random disease or something, and how is it going to cover that? Well, you can't solve all that. There's no way you could cover every little thing on the policy, but it's like you can give them a pretty general good idea. And most times that's being missed.
Sure. Well, what was a rock bottom moment for you as an entrepreneur, and how'd you climb out of it?
Yeah. So when I started the business, I went through it was probably a year and a half. I started with about $60,000 in a 401k. And like, if you ever sold insurance, it's like, it's not a get rich fast thing. It's you have to have a couple hundred clients just to, have a $50,000 a year salary to be able to survive.
Really?
So I basically burned all the way through that before I started making my first dollar. I was all the way through $60,000 in a 401k while selling policies and all that stuff and running a business before I started making my first dollar. So like, yeah, you get to that point and it's like, you start thinking maybe I need to start looking for a job and stuff. And fortunately, I just stuck with it. And probably my biggest thing with businesses, it's like you can never fail if you don't quit, right? Eventually it's going to work out, which is probably not the best advice for everyone, but it does tend to go that way. So it's like, if you can just hang on, and as long as you're working, right? Things will turn around and you'll eventually be successful. But yeah, I got down to that. I was done. Savings were gone and everything. And I was trying to not, at that time, require any money from my wife and stuff. So I didn't want to put that burden on her as well. Which I wish I would have now, but because I didn't get any of that back. But anyways, but yeah, it worked out. But that was rock bottom, was burning through all that and just pushing forward, and eventually it worked out. Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Well, I mean, because with insurance, I mean, your busy time is what? Is it October through the end of the year?
Yeah, basically October to January between the Medicare and the ACA stuff. It's like I tell everyone, it's like, I'll see you come next year, because it's 7 to 9 every night, and probably later than that if I'm working on finishing up policies and stuff. But basically, we have to touch every one of them. Then I've got about 300 Medicare clients just on my end, but like 1,000 for the agency and the agents under me. But yeah, we have to touch every single one of those policies to make sure they're in the right plan for next year, because those plans all change. And it could be something as small as a drug dropped off a formulary, and that could cost someone a couple $100 a month. And it's like, we have to review all those. So that's crunch time, and unfortunately, it's just the worst time of the year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get through all of it.
Damn,
So,
yeah, all around the holidays.
Yeah. So what are you doing January through then? I guess it's just kind of those one-offs where people might lose their job or.
Yeah. So basically, like January through October. Well, really September to October, we're doing recertifications and doing all the training because we have to recert for the products every year, which every carrier has their own little test on the Medicare stuff. We have to do AHIP training, which basically is CMS requirement that we know compliance and all that good stuff. CMS is Center for Medicare Services, so it's the governing agency over all those products. But yeah, from January to basically that time, it's selling small groups, large groups, individuals that lose their employer coverage because we can take them to the Affordable Care Act and get them individual policies. And then people turning 65 for the first time. That's a good stream of Medicare clients, if you would. But yeah, just trying to anything you can think of, we're trying to bring them in during that time.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, I mean, you've served over 4,000 clients at this point. What's the dumbest myth people still believe about Medicare or the ACA?
There's a lot of bad misconceptions about ACA in general.
And that's Affordable Care Act, right?
Yeah, it's the Affordable Care Act, because it was originally Obamacare. So most people on the right still remember when that was getting put into place. They're like, I hate it, blah, blah, blah. But, no matter where you fall on the spectrum of your political beliefs, it's kind of grown into something more than that at this point, because you've had people on the right fix it. Trump took away the penalty for not having health insurance, which kind of was a moral issue. I don't, you guys know much about that.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a tax penalty that if you didn't have health insurance when the Affordable Care Act was put in place, that they would charge you basically back on your taxes for that penalty. But they did away with that because it's like you can't force someone to have a product that they don't want. It was kind of a moral issue, so they got rid of that. But in general, the problem with health insurance companies now is that you have let's talk about like a large employer. They get 20 to 30% increases every year, and it can be something as simple as one of their employees got a really bad form of cancer, and it cost them a couple $1 million. They went over their claims limits and a whole bunch of different stuff. And it's like, well, how do we solve those problems? Well, you need bigger, larger pools of people. That's basically what the Affordable Care Act is. There is no bigger, pool of, insured individuals that can spread the cost of that.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're thinking of that from a 1,000-foot view, it's like that is kind of the best way to approach it if you think about it. Mm-hmm. And they're coming out with products that's on that list, like an ICHRA, which stands for Individual Coverage Health Reimbursement Amount or Arrangement. And basically what that is where those employers can tap in to the Affordable Care Act rather than doing a traditional group plan. Whereas, all of a sudden they go from maybe it's an employer of 200 people where they have, that pool of 200 is on their own individual, basically group plan. Mm-hmm. But now they have the option of going on the Affordable Care Act where you have 2 million people on a plan. Well, that spreads the cost quite a bit. That's why I like doing an ICHRA setup, which is we can talk about that more here in a little bit. But basically, it can bring them 10 to 20% in savings, and they're taken out of the health insurance game, basically. So that's why, some misconceptions about the Affordable Care Act because of pre-existing notions on political beliefs and stuff. Probably the biggest one there. Yeah. Okay. I just went on a tangent, didn't I?
No, that's good. That's good.
That's good. That's
talk as long as you want.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I mean, what are you? Because healthcare and costs. I mean, that's a big topic. Like, you're always hearing like, how can we make things more affordable for people and things like that. I mean, what are some things being on that side of it that you see that could be fixed?
Yeah, I would say more of that going towards the individual coverage health reimbursement arrangements is going to be probably the biggest thing that we're looking at here in the future. We're actually positioning with some really competitive partners that are in the traditional group space that have been in the St. Louis market for 50 years to offer more of these products to employers in the St. Louis area. The easiest way to explain it, it's like when they introduced 401ks mm-hmm. In place of pensions, like no one adopted it right away. Mm-hmm. And now everyone's got a 401k, no one's got a pension. But it basically, when you're going from a traditional group plan to the ICHRA, it takes the employer out of the health insurance game. They can say, I want to give my employees a set amount, basically budget it for every year. And like on average, your Affordable Care Act plans, the increase on them is like 1 to 3%, which is that's particular for the St. Louis market the last couple of years. But you go to the traditional group plans, it's like 10 to 20% a year, if not more. So it's like you tell an employer, hey, if you adopt this plan, this situation, you can budget your money a lot better. And then for the actual employees, they're going from having maybe 3 set plans that they pick from that, there's just going to be people that fall through the cracks that maybe some drugs aren't covered whatsoever. And then when you're actually saying, well, now you can pick between these 100 plans through the Affordable Care Act. Well, I promise you can, no matter what drugs they might have, you're going to be able to find a plan that's probably better suited for them than these 3 plans through a traditional group plan. So not only saving them money, but in most cases, if you're doing it the right way, you can actually take better care of the employees as well. So that's going to be the biggest thing that we're excited about as far as that. The problem with the Affordable Care Act and Medicare, though, just in general too, it's like you get new leaders in, every 4 years, and it's like, we're out here trying to adapt and just whatever happens, they just passed a big, beautiful bill, and that is going to have some changes for things. And it's like, we just always have to adapt, and hopefully no one comes in and just shabashes everything that we were working on.
That's frustrating.
Yeah. It's constant just adapting to the situation. And that is one of those big ticket items too, that they're always, crabbing about or going back and forth to.
What are some of those changes that's coming along with the big, beautiful bill, which is not very beautiful?
Yeah. So
ask me.
During COVID, there was the CARES Act, which basically they for individuals that are making higher income over 400% federal poverty level or up to 400% federal poverty level, they were giving. It just depends on the household. So like if it's one person, 400%, it's going to be around, I want to say like $82,000.
If you make more than if you're a single person making more than 82.
Yeah, you would not get tax subsidies anymore. But up to that, like even at $82,000 to get tax subsidies on your health insurance plan, it's already cheaper than like a traditional group plan. It's still a good freaking deal, right?
Yeah.
Because they can afford to pay for it anyways. But they're doing away with basically those higher income ranges of getting tax subsidies back, which, that's it's okay. We don't like to see it, because what that means is you're going to have less people enrolled in the Affordable Care Act. You're going to see premiums go up because of that, because it's a smaller pool. That's going to be one of the things we're dealing with. And then they also had, this goes back to your question earlier, like what are we doing from January to September? Well, right now there is a special election period for like if you're low income, and say like right now they turned it off about a month ago, but like if you were low income, you couldn't get Medicaid, but we could put you in a free Affordable Care Act plan and use a special election period that you were low income. That was below 140%, which is like for one person. That's like if you're making $19,000 a year, I can have you a plan on the first of the next month with $0 premium, $0 deductible, and the $2,000 max out of pocket, which is like a better plan than any of us would have,
right?
And the thinking there is like we're serving a population that needs the extra help, right? So it's not a terrible thing, and then we're able to get it done. But they're doing away with that special election period where like you would have to now have proof that they lost their job or they moved zip codes, and it's like that. I don't know if that best serves them, unfortunately.
Right.
That's another change that kind of stinks. We were looking forward to, they were going to have the ability to basically position a traditional group plan along with an individual coverage health reimbursement arrangement, where typically like, before the bill was passed, you could only offer one at a time to your employees. So they positioned it where they were going to say you could offer both, and then they took that out at the last minute. I was like, the only good thing we were looking forward to, they stripped it at the last second. So yeah, and that's unfortunately where it's at. And it's like there's no use in crying over spilled milk. We just got to adapt and try to do what's best. But yeah, just a couple of things.
Yeah, we don't have that big of changes that often in ours. But I mean, guidelines are constantly changing here and there. I mean, we see stuff come through every month, but it's nothing like major. Like, I mean, COVID changed a lot of stuff within our business, but for the most part, everything's still pretty much the same. So
yeah, that's probably been the hardest thing about both sides of my industry. It's like when I started, they didn't require call recordings on like Medicare consultations and stuff, and now we have to record every conversation with a potential client. It's unfortunately there's these huge call centers that will take advantage of seniors, so it's like it sucks, but it kind of makes sense at the same time. But it's like we're always having to freaking step it up and do a bunch of crazy stuff for
damn assholes fucking it up for everybody.
Exactly.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, they made some big changes in the real estate industry last year. That was kind of it wasn't anything that's like.
Do you believe we're coming up on a year on that?
Is it really?
Yeah.
That's
the
crazy.
Buyer and seller stuff.
Buyer seller stuff, where they try to decouple the commission. But I mean, here in Missouri, I mean, I've not had knock on wood, many of my buyers that I've worked with, they've never had to pay the full commission on anything. So I mean, it's still kind of the same way it's always been, except for the biggest difference I see is now when the offers, if I'm representing a seller here and when we're getting offers on the house, we take that buyer's agent commission that he's requesting into account. Like we had 3 offers on this house this past weekend, and like there was 3 different, the prices were different too. So I mean that factored into the offer we chose, but it was, I mean, all 3 agents' commissions were different. It was, one was at 2.5, one was at 2.7, and one was at 3, and like that seller's going to factor that in as what they're going to net. And that's the biggest thing that I think changes. But like me personally, I think it helps because it's like I'm guaranteed, because we used to just kind of take whatever the seller was willing to give, and now it's like, okay, well this is what my fee is, and I'm going to make that no matter what, which I'm a fan of.
Yeah.
So, I can't complain too much, but yeah, not a lot of changes in our industry. I mean, that was the first time, I mean, in the 6 years I've been in it that we experienced a change, and it really wasn't that big.
How is inventory looking? Or is it starting to pick up?
Yeah. A little bit, picking up a little bit. But man, I mean, still, the good houses get picked up really fast. I mean, like this past weekend, this house in St. Charles, we had, I think 26 private showings. I did an open house on Saturday. We had like 23 or 24 different groups through. So I mean, it was hot. Like, I mean, that's a lot of people to go through a house in 3 days.
Hold on, say if you can just get the listings.
That's that's always been the name of the game, though. At least since I've been in it, like listings are king. Like you want to, as long as you price them right. That's the hard part. And I was talking with another agent yesterday, and and she's been in the industry a long time, and she was like, she just won't even take listings if sellers are unreasonable. Because I mean, it's something we run into pretty often is that people think their house is worth more than it really is, and it's like you gotta bring them back to reality. And earlier in my career, and I've done it a few times where, like I just want the listing, and I'm like, okay, well, we'll take it. We'll try what you want to try. We'll try it out at the price you want.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to sell. And then sure enough, it sits.
Because it's that sentimental value. And
it's sentimental value. People always think that their house is the nicest, nicest house on the block. And they think that, overpricing it, if it's someone will just pay that, or, like, oh, we can overprice it, and then, we can just reduce the price.
They still think they're gonna get multiple offers, and
and it's like it's so much better to price it even like slightly below what it's really worth, because then you can get multiple people interested.
Right, the market's going to tell you what it's worth.
100%.
Let them bid it up.
Yeah, and then they bid it up, and people start removing contingencies and stuff like that, and that's where you as the seller, that's where you want to be. You want to be in a good spot where you don't have to worry about that they're going to beat you up on inspections, or you don't have to worry about the appraisal coming in low, or like all these other things. Like
it seems like, how would you convince them to let's put it a little bit below market rather than let's start way up here and reduce it by $20,000 every month? Because then people are going to look at it and be like, well, there's something wrong with the house, right?
Well, I mean, the best way. I mean, I try to I show them that I've done this many times. That I've tried it both ways, and it always works out way better when we price it a little bit lower. And then, I'll also show them the comps, and I'll be like, hey, look at all the houses that have sold in your neighborhood. Look at the list price, look at the sold price. Because like a lot of people look at the sold price, and if you like automatically like just say like, oh, my house is worth this, then but like, look, that house was listed 20 grand below that. It had several offers, and it got bidded up to that price. Yeah. So like, I just got to show them the data and be like, hey, this is what they listed at. So like, I would suggest we do something similar, and some people want to listen to me and some people don't, but
right.
and I, I'm trying to be a little bit more selective with, cause in the past I would just take, any listing, I'll just take it, and then now I'm like, okay, I just know that that's going to be a headache. And like, we're going to sit on the market for a while, and then they're going to be like, coming to me, why isn't it selling? I was like, well, you didn't do what I was suggesting we did.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny you get in that spot, because like I've got my office admin, Sam, I don't know if you've met her. She's been here quite a bit. But like you can tell like up front, like if you have someone having unreasonable requests or before they're even a client, it's like, Sam, we probably don't want to work with them. You know what I mean? They're gonna take so much of our time and just kill us, you know, with unreasonable expectations, basically. And it's like we can be selective, and we want to work with the people that deserve our help at the same time.
Well,
you
the
know,
people that are the people that deserve it, the people that are going to appreciate it, and the people that are actually going to value your expertise.
Yep.
And like that's the people, and that's the beauty of kind of being a business owner. You can choose who you want to work with. You know,
Man, what's that like?
Well, hey, I mean, you can choose who you want to work with.
Yes and no. I mean, I can choose I can choose, agents that I go after and try and work with. But like if an agent of mine, like say you're an agent, you referred somebody over to me and they're assholes. I can't just be like, I don't want to work with them. They're assholes. Because now you're going to be like, well, I guess I'm not going to send
Pat any more
deals.
deals.
Right?
Yeah, I guess that's true.
I don't have. You got some of those?
Oh, yeah. There's only been one time where I threatened to fire a guy, but that was because he was making racist comments, and I'm like, I ain't flying for that shit.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But then he tried to call me after. I can once we're closed, like from then on, like if he wants to, if someone wants to like try and refi, I can be like, you should probably call someone else. Or like this guy was calling and asking all these questions about his loan in particular, and I'm like, you should probably call the servicing department and discuss those with them. So I can kind of push them that way, but for the most part, like, I mean, I'm usually fielding questions and all that stuff from past clients and all that. But yeah, that was probably the worst. I mean, there was I caught one guy trying to commit mortgage fraud, and I called him on it. And I was like, oh, like, trying to commit mortgage fraud, huh? He goes, no, not at all. Like, I'm like, but you are.
Oh, I was trying to buy a house and not like a primary residence and not live there. Oh wait, I know which one you're talking about.
Does that happen?
I know which one you're talking about.
No, that was different. He didn't. Yeah, that was if I would have known that was what he was going to do, then I wouldn't have done the loan.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's because people will buy houses with
do it after the fact.
Yeah, well, the low down payment they'll pick a thing that's 3% down, because like if they were to buy it as a rental property, they're gonna have to put 20 or 25% down.
Yeah,
and they'll buy it that way and move their mail there for a few months, and then they rent it out.
Yeah,
No.
Does the bank ever do spot checks and stuff on that kind of stuff?
No, very rarely.
Yeah,
it's the mail. That's usually how you get caught. Right?
Usually, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you get your mail moved to that address for a few months. Gonna be a pain in the ass for you, but to go pick up your mail and stuff. But
yeah, I do think it's kind of funny though that Trump's going after some of his enemies for mortgage fraud right now.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Adam Schiff and Letitia, what's her last name?
That's because he got hit with his. Right?
Well, here's the thing. So, well, he just did it because Schiff tried to buy a house, and he's from a representative from California, so your primary has to be in California. Well, he bought a house in Maryland and was saying that was going to be his primary residence, which he can't technically do. And so now Trump found out, is going after him for mortgage fraud.
Oh, man. I feel like you're just getting pettier. And
yeah,
pettier.
I mean, he's like
on both sides. Like now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like, yeah. Well, eventually it got fixed because I guess whoever did when they were trying to refinance when rates dropped caught it and was like, yeah, no, you can't do that. And got the mortgage set up correctly, but they're still going after him for potential mortgage fraud back from like 2009 until 2019 before he refinanced.
Wow.
But yeah, no, I mean it's a thing. People try it, but you can usually ask questions and get to it. But I mean, yeah, and the one that I closed and didn't find out until about a year later that he never moved in. He was like, yeah, no, I was like, I'm going to fix it up. I'm going to live in one of the units. I'm going to rent the other 3 out. And, he posted some stuff on social media about like he was there and how it was an Airbnb, but I could never tell if he was really had moved in until he called me again. He's like, yeah, I never moved in. I was like, oh, well, okay. That's good thing you didn't get caught because yeah. So, but he's since sold that property and
right.
So what does it say in the mortgage? They can exercise full payment on the full note right away if they catch that.
Yep.
Due on sale? Or no, not due on sale, but similar,
something. Yeah. So you gotta pay that. I mean, call it due at any time at that point. The laws are a little tricky on that. I mean, like you look at the guidelines and you can move into a house and be there for 6 months and then turn around and be like, you know what, I'm just going to turn this into a rental and buy something else. I mean, it's house hacking. We talk to people and like, yeah, the guidelines say you should probably be there for a year, for 12 months before you do that. But you like, if you write a very strongly worded letter of explanation and detail why with a good reason why, then you can get
around it.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some gray areas that you can work in the mortgage business.
Well, that's why you have to work with a good mortgage.
Right. That knows how to, that knows, there's
the loan officer.
Yeah,
exactly. It's not always black and white. There's some ways that you can just because the guidelines are up for interpretation and, everybody interprets things differently. And if you're willing to back the interpretation that you have of some of these guidelines, then some of them are very vague. That you can just be like, well, this is how I interpreted it. And if you can convince the underwriter to interpret it the same way, then you'll be able to get something through. So, but yeah. So there's a bunch of different stuff. Like my mom did a deal a long time ago where this guy had started the process of filing bankruptcy, but it hadn't been reported yet. So he was still technically able to buy a house because it hadn't been reported that he had filed or started done a bankruptcy. But he closed on the house, and then the bankruptcy went into place literally 2 weeks after that.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I was like, "Damn, how did you pull that one off?" He goes, "It wasn't on the paperwork. He never said anything about it." So I was like, "All right,
wow,
hey, okay, Mom." She's long out of the business now. So.
Yeah, man. Well, is there a rule or regulation in healthcare that just drives you crazy? And like, if you could change like one thing,
probably that low income special election period they got rid of, because there's just unfortunately you have. I'll give you an example. I had a client. He's probably about our age. Started his own business. Was developing like an app. I can't remember exactly what it was for. He was but an IT guy. And he had him and his wife, and then 2 kiddos, 3 and 5. And then they were waiting for Mo Health it's any of the government agencies. Unfortunately, when you're waiting on them to do anything, it takes forever. So they're waiting on Medicaid for the kiddos. And it's we utilize that special election period of being low income to put them in an Affordable Care Act plan where all their stuff was covered until that Medicaid was put through. But now they don't have access. Those people in those situations, they have to wait for Medicaid to go through, and it could be 3 to 4 months, and then they're not guaranteed to backdate any of that. So they're going to be stuck. And he had several doctors visits and stuff, and that sort of stuff's racking up.
Right.
And it's a useful tool that we had to help, those type of people in those situations. And now it's there's some other clever ways we can probably get around it, but it's why take that away? You know? But yeah, that's probably one of the bigger ones that we're kind of upset about right now.
sucks.
Well, speaking of children, you're a father.
Yep. 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, what does a disciplined life look like for a juggling father, fitness, for you juggling fatherhood, fitness, entrepreneurship? What does that look like?
Constantly trying to improve. Like I said, I'm a 50-50 split with the ex-wife. So it's still, getting that built up, to be honest with you, and taking it one day at a time, but it is, it's constant, working on it and improvements. For him, we, with the divorce, we're taking him to a child therapist, mm-hmm. which we're getting a lot of stuff in place. And the weird thing about kids, if everyone ever goes through a divorce, those kids, I don't care how young they are, I think, Pat, you have some experience in that category, but it's they are more intuitive than anyone realizes.
Absolutely.
They pick up on so much stuff, and this therapist is absolutely amazing. But one of the things, it's teaching him your love at your mom's house and your love at your dad's house. It might be different on what you're doing on each house, because her rules aren't the same as my rules at my house. With I make him sleep alone and stuff, and trying to mm-hmm. build him up, and she's still sleeping with her at her house. So it's trying to teach him hey, just because I don't, I'm trying to make you sleep by yourself and grow up a little bit doesn't mean I don't love you. And the therapist has done fantastic work there, where
That's
he's
awesome.
That's great.
Going to bed by himself, doesn't complain about it anymore. He realizes, and then just having the schedules. Like you're brushing your teeth at 9:00. You're going to bed at 9:30. I will tell you guys a hack that I just got that started working. That's so funny. I started taking like these melatonin sleep gummies, and I'm bigger, so I take like 20 milligrams, and I'm going to bed. But like Jaden saw me taking them, he's like, "Dad, what are you taking?" I was like, "They're sleep pills," and he's like, "Oh, can I have one?" And I was like, "Sure." And I gave him he got like the chewable vitamins. So I gave him one of those, and like I was like, "You better hurry, you better run to your room and go to sleep." And like he runs in there, he's out in like 2 seconds, and it's like he's not taking anything,
right?
But,
just the vitamins.
Yeah, it's just it's just the vitamins, and but it's just him thinking. It's the mindset. He's like, "Okay, I'm going to bed," and he's out. And
that's smart. We give our son he has a chewable vitamin in the morning, but man, maybe we should start just doing it before bed and calling it like his sleep thing.
Hey, it worked for us, and like because he was fighting going to sleep at first. I started doing that, and like I swear, any night now it's like, all right, time for your sleep, but go to bed. He's out like that.
Wow. And I've gotten pretty lucky. They're both pretty good about falling asleep. I just tell them like during the summer, bedtime's 9:00. During the school year, it's 8. So they're all excited, like, oh, we get an extra hour and all this. So we'll hang out. But I always tell them like, hey, 30-minute warning. Like, hey, we're at 30 minutes till bedtime, and they're like, okay. So they're prepared, and they're getting the last minute like zoomies out and like running around going nuts. I'm like, all right, we got about 15 minutes. Let's calm down. Let's sit down. Let's relax. And then I'm like, all right, bedtime. Let's go. Time to climb in bed. And they're like, oh, Dad, 5 more. No, you know the rules. And so they go climb in bed, and they have not so much anymore, but like just because with the switching, I always tell them, I'm like, well, Mom's probably asleep right now, but like during the school year, they won't go to bed unless they FaceTime with Melissa. So I'm like, all right, well, if you want to FaceTime with Mom, we got to get in bed by 8. If you don't, we can stay out till 9. And they're like, okay, that's fine. We'll stay up till 9. I'm like, just all right, know that we're not FaceTiming with Mom.
Yeah.
All right. So now they're doing a pretty good job of climbing into bed and getting to sleep pretty quick. So they used to get up multiple times. Like they'd be like, Dad, I got a question. They're like, I love you. I'm like, that's not a question, buddy.
When my son does the same, he'll delay everything to go to bed. It's like, wait, I need a drink. I need to go pee. Wait, Mom, my fingernails are too long. Like he'll just any.
They're just looking for that inch so they can take them out.
Yes, every time. He just wants to kick back that. He just like wants to delay going to bed so bad, and then once he's in bed, he usually calls. Because he only wants my wife, not me, to like come in and soothe him or whatever. But like, so she typically has to go in there a couple times and just like, like because when they go to bed, it's like, okay, now we can hang out, and then it's always going to be another like. I know at this point it's going to be another like 30 minutes at least of her like, she's like laying on her bed, just scrolling. Okay, I got to go in, like just killing time until he falls asleep, which is pretty much every night. But yeah, that's just the routine.
They do grow out of that.
Looking forward to it. Well, right when he's maybe growing out of that, the other one's going to be getting into it. So yeah,
but he's going to be calling you.
No. Maybe. No, they're both like Velcro mommy's boys, dude. Like.
Well, that's typically how it goes for the boys anyways.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's like, I just want to help, but they only want Mom to do everything. Like the other day, I was just like, last night, I was like, he wants to go outside and play. And I'm like, all right, we got to get your shoes on. Like, let's get your socks and shoes on. No, Mommy. And I'm like, dude, just let me put your shoes on. We can go outside. Like, she's, doing something with your brother. Like, let me just put your shoes on real quick. No. Okay. It's like, dude, I just want to help.
Yeah. Yeah, that was like with the divorce, that was tough at first. I'm like, well, Mom's not here.
Yeah.
So
well, that's the thing. Is like when she's not around, like it's fine. I'm cool. Like they like I'm great as long as she's not around. But if she's in the building, like there's nothing I can do that's right.
Yeah, that's the weird thing. I'm not advocating for divorce for this reason, but like, but me and my son have gotten so much closer because of divorce. That's I guess because he's forced to spend the night with me now. Yeah.
Just you,
just me.
I mean, and that's the thing too is like I said, I don't advocate for divorce. If it's necessary, do it. But yeah, my relationship with the boys have been great. It's forced me to reevaluate my career because I mean for the longest time, and that was one of the reasons things kind of went south for us was I was working all the time and kind of took advantage of that situation where it was like, hey, you know what, she's here, she's got the kids, she can handle it. I'm just gonna work another hour. Oh well, that another hour turned in like 3, and now it's like, hey, we're getting ready to put the boys to bed, and I just missed a whole night. Now I have to pick them up at 4:00. There's no way around it. I got to pick them up. And so at that time, I'm like, hey, I'm going to shut this down and spend those hours from 4 until they go to bed at 9 with them. And then once they go to bed, then I can look at my phone and see what I've got going on and see if there's anything like that. But once I pick them up, I don't work until they're asleep. So it's definitely made me more intentional with my time with my boys. It sucks that it took, having to get divorced. I mean, ultimately the divorce was great for all of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, it sucks that it took something like that for me to realize how important that was. Well, and it was by that time they were already, 3 and 4.
Very, very similar story. Yeah. I think that's probably very common.
Right.
To be honest with you. Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, and I've, and honestly, it's something I think because I spend so much time with you, and it's not the first time you've stated this on the podcast, but it's like something I think about all the time. It's like, oh fuck, okay, I'm working and I need to. Whenever I get home now, it's like, okay, I'm really like, unless I have something that needs to be done like right here, right now, like it can wait. Yeah. It can wait till they go to sleep, or wait till she's not, I'm not spending time with her or whatever it is. So it's like, it's made me very intentional about the time.
On the flip side of that, though, is like, all right, so I have them every 2 days. So like the 2 days that I don't have them, like, and I get them back, it's like, hey, they don't like it. They're fine without me for those 2 days. Like they're doing just fine. And so, there's that give and take. Like, hey, you know what? It's okay to have a night where we're gonna work late. You're gonna push those hours because you're providing for your family. But at the same time, like where I messed up was like that was like every night. Like, hey, how can I push this time and get the most out of my time and still have I don't know. I don't know. I wasn't a good husband. I wasn't a good husband, and I was like maybe a mediocre father at that time. So, but now I feel like I'm not a husband anymore, so I'm doing pretty good there. Yeah. But I'm definitely
You're a terrible husband.
Yeah. But I'm definitely a much better father, and that's the most important thing for me anyway. So but anyway, speaking of fatherhood, what does fatherhood teach you about patience, identity, ego that entrepreneurship couldn't?
Oh my God, yeah, patience. Taught me everything about patience.
Right.
If you ever had a little boy around, half the time he doesn't listen. So
we're the same way.
And it's funny because like now he can ask for whatever he wants left and right, and you're gonna tell him no or whatever. But it's like you can brush off so much more stuff. And like back before I had Jaden, or I guess when I was a younger father or when he was younger, it's like I don't know, the noise would stress you out a little bit, and it's like now it doesn't bother you at all. Like which is I
don't even hear it anymore. Yeah, especially like right now with my wife's a teacher and she's home for the summer. So like our youngest, who's 1, he like was not like such a mama's boy until she was like home all the time. Because now it's like if she's not if he can't see her or she's not like holding him, he's like crying. Or if she's holding him and she hands him to me and walks away, instant tears. Like, and that used to like really bug me. But now it's like after dealing with it for a few months now, it's like I don't even hear it anymore. It sounds horrible, but like I'm like, I know she's walked in the other room. You're stuck with me,
But it's like patience is a muscle too, right? It's like we're practicing it every day, and now we're pros at it, really.
Right.
Yeah, totally, 100%. Yeah, it's definitely being a father has definitely taught me a lot about patience as well. Oh my God, just Calvin will definitely push that patience all the time, man. He's like you said, your son, not listening. That's Calvin to a T. Like he doesn't tell him something, it just goes right, just in one ear out the other. Like unless you like really get mad at him and like we go to like frequent little timeouts. Okay, let's go sit down. Let's talk about it. Yeah. What do we do there? Why are you pulling her shirt? Like let's not try to rip the toy out of her hand. Because we live in a cul-de-sac, and pretty much every night from like 5 to 8, there's like all the houses around us have all kids under 5, and so like every night everybody's playing out in front of the yard, and it's just mayhem. They're all fighting over toys and chasing each other and driving the Power Wheels and like Grand Theft Auto style, like ripping each other out of like the Power Wheels. Like I want to drive this one, and it's just like you're constantly having to correct him. But some days are better than others.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, Jaden, like fresh off the divorce. This happened in January or maybe it was February-ish. He was in summer school, and he ended up getting kicked out. before we got him to the therapist, and he's doing much better now. But like they're kind of funny. I'm gonna tell you a story. So like the one day he got written up because like I got there and she's like, well, he was hitting his kid, and we asked him, why'd you hit so and so, and he's like, well, I didn't have the words, so I just attacked. And like, well, at least he was honest, I guess. And then like I take him home and I'm like, don't ever put your hands on someone else in school, blah blah blah. Goes back the next day, gets written up again. So what he did the next day was he recruited another kid to do his dirty work for him. Friggin', he got written up for that. I'm like, well, I guess next time I need to tell you to don't get caught,
Yeah.
So, oh man,
The hitman hired a hitman.
He did.
Yeah,
I'll give you my snack pack if you go take him out.
Yeah, this is kindergarten. I was like, what is happening here?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, Connor's pretty. I mean, he's very well behaved. Typical firstborn. Ollie, he is typical secondborn. He is my fuck around and find out kid. Like he's and he'll like we're working on his emotions and understanding his emotions. Connor's pretty good at it. Oliver though, like I'm like he'll get mad, and he was like for the longest time he just goes straight to punching. And I'm like, okay, buddy, like if that's your release, grab a pillow, punch a pillow. So he's like, fine. So he's like, I'm angry. He runs over, he grabs a pillow, and he starts punching the pillow. And Connor, just the little shit that he is sometimes, is just sitting there laughing at him.
Oh, no.
Connor?
Egging him on.
Yeah, and then I'm like, you know what? If Oliver wants to punch you now, I'm okay with that, because that's bullshit. And so, so needless to say, Oliver saw it and saw Connor laugh and went over and straight to the face. And I'm like, all right, boys, let's regroup here. Let's sit down and regroup this here. But no, so now Oliver, I'm like, all right, stop your foot. And so he's like, I'm mad. And stomp his foot, and now
I'm sure the people living below you love that.
that for the longest, like there were people that, and they left, and there hasn't been anybody under me for a few months. So I'm like, okay, go ahead.
Great.
Now there's people living below us again. I'm like, all right, we can't stop. We can't stop now. Let's go back to punching. Let's go back to punching a pillow, or like, hey, just grab a pillow and scream into it. Whatever you need to do, just so you can understand that emotion. But yeah, that's where we're at right now with Oliver. But he's my kid. Like, Oliver, you do that, we're going to go sit in timeout and talk about this. He goes, and so I was like, okay, whatever. Yeah. And he'll just do it. And I'm like, oh, you want to go in timeout? He goes,
I'll serve my time.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. It was worth it.
Hey, like, or you're going to go, or you're going to go to bed now. And he's like, no. And I was like, excuse me? He's like, fine. I'll just stay in bed. I won't even get up tomorrow, and I'll just stay in bed. And I'm like, dude, where is this coming? Like, he's like, he doesn't give a shit. Like, he's like, whatever, that's fine. Put me in bed, and I just won't get up in the morning. I'm like, why? Like, why do we have to have this? Why do we have to have this battle, man? Like, why? Like, there was one time I'm like, you're gonna go sit in timeout for 15 minutes, and he goes, well, why not? Why don't we just make it 30? I'm like, oh my god. I'm like, Oliver, like, why? Like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna make you come and sit with me and hang out with me.
Pulling the Breakfast Club.
And he's like, no. I don't want to do that. And I'm like, hey.
I made Calvin do squats and sit-ups the other day.
Well, that's the thing though, is like the problem
all right,
is,
dude, we're going to do 20 squats, 20 sit-ups,
but they're kind of the point where they enjoy doing that. And I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, I can't use that as a punishment anymore.
Yeah, I was like, I guess I don't, and then I thought about it. I was like, maybe I shouldn't like be making exercise a punishment. Like, I don't know if I necessarily think that's like the best route.
Way to encourage him. And
well, I was like, I don't want him to like not like working out,
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want that to be something that he likes to do. And, hopefully in a few years he's working out with me and stuff. Like, I would love that. But, I was like, maybe I shouldn't make this a punishment, but
I got like, once he started like, oh, why don't we make it 30? I'm like, you know what? We're done with timeouts. I'm just going to take your Legos away.
Yeah, that's
you love Legos. You are losing Legos now.
That'll do it.
Yeah, that's been usually my go-to. He, he's always got some sort of toy that he's obsessed with that, that he carries around everywhere. And it's like, okay, well, if you're going to be a jerk, I'm taking Spidey, and Spidey's going to go sit up on top of on the shelf where you can't reach him for a few hours, and while you think about what you did, or that seems to be the best. Well, but then it always ensues in like crying and turns into a tantrum, and which
cool
is what it is.
Let him have it. Let him have the tantrum.
But yeah, that seems to be my our best way to deal with help because the timeout thing doesn't.
No, it doesn't work.
Doesn't work
Yeah.
that much.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
It doesn't.
Work.
You know, but
yeah.
I don't know, man. Well, with all the advances in AI, has that affected your business at all?
Oh yeah, in a big way. I'm a big advocate of the AI stuff. Not as far as like there's some agencies that are using it to compare plans and stuff. I still think that needs a human touch, as there's just too many intricacies to do that sufficiently yet. But there's some things like we're incorporating in our agency that just it's wild. So I told you like every call we have to have is recorded. So like right now I've got an automation for all of our downline agents, and this is just a time saver. It'll basically kick that transcript to ChatGPT, which will run it through a template I have for like client summary emails from that call with next steps and stuff, and just pumps it right out, and basically as a draft to our downline agents that they can then put it in their own words or whatever. But it's like how much
you
time?
used to have to do that by hand.
Well, if you think about it, like you get off on a
template.
call, I gotta, if I'm going to write up a 20, an email, it's going to take you 20, 30 minutes just to make sure it sounds professional and everything. It's like, and this will, if they're turning 65 here at the end of the year, and I don't expect you guys to know how it works, but it's like, here's your exact instructions on how to apply for Medicare with the Social Security Administration if you're not taking your Social Security yet, because if they are, it's automatic, and if they're not, they have to actually manually apply, and it'll pump out those instructions based off their situation. So it's like I can bring on brand new agents that's never sold Medicare before, as long as they have that conversation and I give them, they know somewhat they're doing. The automation will pop out exactly what they need to send back to that client in real time. So it's just curbing that learning curve and making sure they're telling them what they actually need to know. So things like that are going to be amazing. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Before I got divorced, I was telling my wife, it's like, you really need to make sure you're playing around with this stuff, because, it's going, and I'm sure you guys know, it's like, if you're not messing around with AI in 5 to 10 years, you're going to be out of a job or just so far behind the curve,
it's like saying you don't want to use email or something like 20 years ago or something,
exactly.
It's like the people that, like you really like behind the time.
Or having a cell phone.
Yeah, like I don't need a cell phone. Like, okay, well, you're going to be hard to do business with.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it just makes you can put it in ways that it makes everything so much more efficient and for the better. Not trying to get out of work, but it's like, that just
the key is working efficiently.
Well, and I'm sure you guys have seen news stories. There's stories of people like taking their their symptoms and stuff, and they're misdiagnosed from a doctor or whatever. Like, everyone's human. People make mistakes, but like, if AI really doesn't, to be honest with you. And in most cases, like, they might pick up on, here's your actual diagnosis. And again, not advocating to not go to your doctor and pump everything in ChatGPT, but it's like, as that stuff gets more efficient and stuff, it's like, how would you want someone that can make a human error where, that's not going to, that's
for sure.
It's going to be wild.
It's always good as a second opinion,
right?
It's not going to hurt, and it's free.
Yeah.
or unless you have the paid version, but like even that is what, $20 a month, I think it's worth every penny because I pay for it.
Well, yeah. I mean, and then like, I forgot who I was just talking to, but, Elon Musk's new one is supposed to, Grok is supposed to be just absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, I've heard that, they're all a little different, but, yeah, I mean, I've messed around with Grok a little bit, but I primarily use ChatGPT.
Same.
Yeah.
We want to hear something cool. I've got, this is not business related, but I built up my own basically workout agent.
Oh yeah.
So it'll pump out my workouts for the week, take what I logged in for last week, and it's basically like an Excel sheet, and then tell me what I need to adjust and stuff to continue.
No kidding.
For the next week. Yeah,
I've used that to write a workout for me today. So hey, my knee, I tweaked my knee the other day in jiu-jitsu. Like, I'm trying to I want to still get like a good cardio workout, but I don't want to my knees, the range of motion's not great. But I still would like to do like a CrossFit style workout. I'd ideally like to do movements, these couple movements, write me a workout. And, I've done it a few times now, and it pumps out like a great workout. And I'm like, hell yeah, this is fucking awesome.
Yep.
Dude, it's so cool. I mean, you can use it for literally everything. The other night I was just like, hey, I've got, what's the best way to cook this? I've got this, and then, like I said, I'm doing this carnivore diet, and I'm like, okay, I've got this chuck roast. Like, what's the best way to cook this? And they gave me like 5 different options. Like, oh, okay, I'll do that one. That seems pretty easy, and I'll throw it in the crock pot or whatever it is. It's just like, do it at this temp for this long, and like, oh man, it's easy.
Yeah.
Easy for everyone.
Well, that's the thing. I was like, I wonder how long. I mean, Google's starting to. I wonder how long it's going to take before they just eliminate like the whole, oh, well, here's the websites and all that stuff. Like, I mean, like ChatGPT will do it, and they'll just be like, hey, here are the websites that we pulled from for this information. I mean, like that's, I mean, like I think we've talked about it before about how like Google's.
That's
like,
a great question. Like, what is it done to Google search?
Oh, it's
so far
diminished it significantly. It's like down 50% or something.
Holy moly!
Yeah, because Google will just give you the link, like give you links to go and look at, and then you go find it yourself. ChatGPT is actually telling you what you need to know and how to do it or what to do, and then giving you the links where they pulled the answers from.
Yeah.
So,
no, the summary, it just gives you everything you need instead of you having to go search for it.
Right.
So much easier.
Oh yeah, and then we'll have to filter through all the ads and everything too. It's like it's going to give you the most relevant.
Yeah, just right at the top. What do I need to? What do I need to know?
Yeah.
Like, give me the answer.
I wonder how long it's going to take before ads start popping up on ChatGPT.
That's a good call. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
Well, it always starts, whenever they're doing that, it starts without ads first, and then later when they have all the buy-ins.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I'm sure it's just a matter of time.
Building up the client base. Really.
Yeah. I wonder if they'll do it like they do like the YouTube premium subscription, like. If you have free YouTube, which everybody does, you have the ads, but like if you pay for the premium YouTube, you don't get the ads. So I wondered if it'll be
something similar
to
probably.
that. Which, I'll pay that for how much I use ChatGPT. I already do.
Okay.
So. Yeah. And I mean, it's been especially over like the last 6 months, I mean, my use of it has increased significantly.
Yeah.
I mean, I use it all the time. It's multiple times a day for sure.
Yeah.
Easily. Yeah, I mean, I've used it today a couple times already.
I know Guild created their own to tie into like mortgage guidelines and stuff like that called I forget what it's Guild IQ or something like that. So if I just got a question about a guideline, I can just type it in there and it'll spit out an answer based on the guidelines and everything, and then it'll give you the link to the guidelines so you know where to go and look at it.
Yeah, we've got I've got something like that for the downline agents for like Medicare support. It ties into the CMS rules and regulations for Medicare, and it's like if anyone has a question, it's, hey, is this compliant or not? And like, nope, it's not, or whatever it may be.
So how many agents do you have?
Right now, like direct agents, it's about 14.
Oh, wow.
But so my upline is called Hovis and Associates here in St. Louis, and they are. So I was actually under a different upline for the Affordable Care Act stuff, and I wrote 10,000 policies in the last since I had started. But they've got basically 300 Medicare agents that they are offering these products to now that they're putting them all under me for training and stuff. So that doesn't say all 3 of them are going to go under me, but a lot of them are. So I'm getting a lot of those questions and support that I'm doing now too. Yeah.
Sweet. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Incredible.
Well, if your business disappeared tomorrow, who are you without the CEO title?
Without the CEO title, probably just Jason, the father, and the gym rat, I guess. And I would just find another business to start. I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I could.
The entrepreneur.
Yeah, I don't know if I could ever go work for someone again at this point. Yeah,
I'm in the same boat, man. I don't know if I could. I'd have a hard. It'd have to be the right person and the right business, and like it'd have to be a lot of things. I'm just so used to, kind of doing my own thing at this point.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like, I'm a W-2 employee with Guild, but at the same time, like
you don't have to like go clock in, like you're not stuck in a building. Like that's the part that I always struggled with. Why do I need to be here for 8 hours? Like that's, and I'm only getting paid if I'm in this building. It's just like that whole. It's a hard.
A lot of times like speed is money, right? And it's like I love being able to make a decision and get stuff rolling. Whereas I've seen managers and people above me, fumble basically the ball and getting things done, and it's just because you have to go through the proper chain of command or whatever it may be. And it's like, man, I didn't like that kind of stuff at all.
Yeah, well, nobody does, man. Yeah, I would struggle with that for sure. Yeah, I don't know what I'd do if I wasn't in real estate. I mean, I worked in restaurants for 10 years, but like it'd be hard to go back to that now. I mean, I do sometimes miss like the chaos of it. You know? Like just like the like
or the randomness of again, like you said, you like how you like CrossFit, like every day is a little bit different.
Yeah. It's I did miss and I did miss like all the you just having like coworkers, like that was cool. You had your work friends. Like now I've got friends that are agents as well, but like I don't really have like work friends net per se. I mean, like Pat and I are work friends, but I think we're a little bit more than that at this point. We say we're kind of married at this point.
Right.
But
that starts changing too as we get older. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
It's like I don't. I've got really good friends that are agents under me, but at the same time, it's like I work with them every day. It's like I really don't want to talk to you afterwards. I really like you, but like I need some alone time.
Right.
Sure. Or you have friends, you know, and other things. Like I'm sure you have friends at the gym or friends, you know, that
it's nice having some separation every once in a while.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah, and we need it. You know, and especially as men, I think we need to be around other guys that are, you know, doing similar stuff. Like I'm sure you have friends at the gym. Like I've got my jiu-jitsu friends. You know, Pat's got hockey friends. You know, like we've all got friends that we have this camaraderie with, and I think that's kind of essential for us. Yeah, at least I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, there's just different groups of them. I mean, I think I've got my group of friends that I've known since elementary school. I've got my group of friends from college that I play baseball with. I've, the guys I play hockey with, guys I work with, things like that. So, yeah, no, I think it's important. I mean, we had a guy on here who was talking about, I think it was Jason Fry, that was talking about how like most veterans, like that's the biggest the biggest reason for their with depression is the fact that they no longer have those teams, those people, those things, and like that's why I love playing hockey. Like the locker room is a ton of fun. Like the shit that you talk and all that stuff. It just it's and just given.
How often are you playing?
Well, right now I'm not playing at all, but come September through March, I'm skating at least twice a week, sometimes 3. Yeah.
I was in a over 30 basketball league, but man, it was beating up my body a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like
tough.
Hockey actually, like you think about like for how physical of a sport it was or is, men's league hockey is really not that bad. You know, if you as long as you're good at like you're good at skating, odds of you getting hurt are very slim. It's the ones that aren't the greatest at skating that are usually getting hurt. But I mean, the league I play in on Wednesday nights is really, really good. Every team has at least 1 or 2 guys that played very high level hockey. Everybody on those teams are pretty solid skaters, and there's not a whole lot of injuries in that. I mean, you might see some fights.
Yeah.
Things get a little chippy that way, but I mean, everybody knows how to control their stuff. I mean, control your shots, control all that stuff. So you're not seeing it like the other league that I play with Nick in. Not quite as quality of hockey. Skaters are a little bit weaker. You're seeing more guys get injuries that way. But I haven't. It's like rolling with more advanced guys in jiu-jitsu. Yeah. You're more likely to get hurt rolling with somebody that doesn't know what the hell they're doing than with somebody that does. And so it's the same way with hockey.
Very true.
As long as you keep yourself stretched, like if you're going to get hurt, it's going to be a muscle injury. But just as long as you're like stretching, I mean, that's the thing is guys are out there stretching for like 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes before you get on the ice, where before you just hop on and go.
Yeah, I get that nowadays.
Yeah, same.
The warm up, man, that's something I never did. And now I need to warm up before I do anything. Otherwise I'm just, and I need to be better about it, because there's some days where I just jump right into shit. I definitely feel it for sure. Especially like my knees and stuff.
How long have you been rolling for?
It'll be 7 years here in a month or 2. Yeah, and then I wrestled in high school, which helps.
You have purple belt, or where are you at?
Yeah, purple belt.
Nice, awesome. Where at?
Watson Martial Arts.
Okay.
You want to get into it?
I did a little bit in Texas.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't advance. I was only doing it for like 6 months. I loved it though. It's
fun.
I had the best workout.
Dude, it's the best workout in the world, man. I love it. I train. Typically, I try to get 4 days in a week. I almost guarantee to get 3. If it's a good week, I get 4. And then I try to do CrossFit the days that I don't do that. So I stay pretty active. But yeah, I mean, jiu-jitsu, when I got into that, I mean, man, that was like a life changer for me. I was like, oh, this is what I've been missing, man. Because like wrestling was like the only sport I was ever like any good at. Like I played football, but bro, guess what position I played?
What position you played?
No, guess.
Fullback.
No. I was our starting left tackle my senior year.
Where'd you go to school at?
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's, okay.
Yeah. I mean, and then I played a little bit of D-line and outside linebacker, and I mean, I prefer to play defense for sure.
Did you go to Lindbergh?
I went to Lindbergh.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. We were not very good.
I was going to say at Lindbergh, we had like 4 guys my size.
Really?
My height.
Yeah. We
when
would
I
have
was
gotten
there.
destroyed by it, for sure.
Were you 06?
06.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was 11. So yeah, you guys are old.
Yeah, we're old.
Yeah.
We were
but I
done with
loved
college
football.
when you were finishing high school.
Yeah. I mean, I loved playing football. Like it was like, but it was like the camaraderie.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
loved all hanging out with all the guys. Like I loved, I just loved. It was the first sport that like I ever like really enjoyed. Like I played like CYC soccer and baseball and basketball, and like I never like really put any sort of time into like improving. But then like once I started playing football, that's when I like started lifting weights and working out, and then I just like never really stopped that. And then I found wrestling, and I was like, oh okay, like there's weight classes here. Like I'm 5'7", dude. I'm not I shouldn't be playing football. Like at any sort of level, to be honest, at my stature. But like at wrestling, there's weight classes. Like I can, I'm going against a guy my size. So it was like it seemed like a better
skill
fit.
based, and then everything.
I mean, like I was never very fast. I'm not very big. I'm not very tall. Like it's hard to be pretty good at football, especially when you're going against guys like you. Like I'm not gonna be able to push you around too good. But if I'm going against a guy that also weighs my weight and similar height, like I can, do something with him.
Yeah.
But it's a harder, it's a tough sport. But I mean, I loved playing football. I just love the team, the camaraderie, the locker room, just like the whole suffering, doing hard shit together. Like it was the best, and like that I learned so much from football that, that I didn't know before. Like I just finally had like a lot of these, like, just guys to look up to. And I had some really good coaches, I think. At least I thought they were good at the time. And yeah, it changed my life.
It changed mine too. Like before that, my dad didn't want me to play. I didn't play until high school.
Oh really?
Yeah. Cause he was a big soccer guy. So like he didn't want me to get hurt or whatever. And then he let me play in high school. I was like, yeah, that's when I started lifting and stuff. I probably wouldn't be around Matt, especially physically.
Yeah. Me either. No, I'm sure you probably never stopped. I mean,
yep.
That's the thing is like, just don't stop. I think that's where that's something I'm always afraid of. Anytime I've gotten injured or like had to take like time away, it's like I still like go to like when I tore my meniscus a few years ago, like 2 days later, I'm in crutches at the gym. I worked up nothing but upper body for 4 months.
You start and it gets even more obvious nowadays. It's like there's people our age that are starting to look pretty bad. Because they don't never built up a discipline of working out all the time or whatever it may be, but it's like it starts really showing as we're getting older.
Right. And that's the thing is like I want to be able to run around and play with my kids as I get older.
Totally.
Like,
I want to be able to. Yeah, I want to be able to be at every practice and be able to participate, show them like even if it's a sport that like say my kid got into lacrosse. I've never played lacrosse. Like I'm gonna figure out how to play lacrosse. Right. I'm gonna figure it out so we can play catch in the front yard and so that I know what's going on when he's playing. I mean, I don't know if he's going to play lacrosse. I have no idea what he's going to play. Yeah. I want him to get into whatever he wants to get into. Like, I hope he likes, the wrestling, jiu-jitsu stuff because that's what I like. But like, if that's not what they want to play, like, I don't want to like force it on them because, you can't make your kids love something, but you can make them hate it.
Yeah. For sure.
So,
well, that, I mean, like, too, I mean, for us on the single side of it, nobody wants to date some fat fuck. Or out of shape, like, I don't know. It's just always been a perception of mine that somebody's that's like put together and well built, they take care of themselves. Or I just look at them as usually more successful people.
Yeah.
Just something that I've always.
It's something money can't buy.
Right.
It's like you can't pay any amount of money to look like you. Like it takes time. It takes years and years of eating and dedication and training and like it takes a lot of time to get to that point, and like you can't buy your way into it.
It's just so easier not doing it, right?
Oh, it's so much easier.
What's crazy is how easy it is for just disappear. You put all those years of work into it, and you take a year off, and you could lose everything.
Yeah, that's like the I mean that kind of goes into the whole like just don't stop.
I mean, shit. I in May of 15 when I retired from baseball and left spring training, I went into spring training at I think it was 220. And this was May of 2015. And then at the end of the year, I checked in with my primary care physician for the first time in years. And just from May to December, I not really like just sitting at the desk, just focusing on my business, not really working out as much. I went from 220 to 250 like that. Yeah. And I was like, oh man. And then it wasn't like, that's the sad thing. It's like, I'm ashamed to say that I let shit go for like 7 years. I didn't start working out since I stopped in 15 for baseball and then didn't start doing anything again until the separation and divorce in 2022. Yeah.
Is that when you got healthier again?
Yeah.
Dude, that's I mean, I was 305 back in October last year. It was the same deal. It's easier to get you get comfortable.
I got up to 280. Yeah, and I'm at 262 right now. I actually just went in the other day. So since I started last year with CrossFit, jiu-jitsu, more hockey, as well as eating properly and getting on testosterone, which has been huge. I'm down 8% in body fat and almost 20 pounds.
Yeah,
but my muscle mass. My muscle mass when I first checked in was like at 105, and I weighed in, or I went and got a body scan yesterday, and I was at 126.
Damn,
and muscle mass.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So
yeah, I went through a phase earlier this year, and I'm kind of, when did I stop? Or beginning of April is when I started cutting again. But yeah, I put on like 26 pounds. I was like trying to put on weight though, you know. So I went from like 170 to I got up to 195 or 196, I think was my heaviest. Now I'm like back to like 77 this morning. So like I'm trying to trim back down, because I got some jiu-jitsu tournaments I want to do coming up here, and so I'm like just getting in shape for them because I don't want to do any of those bigger weight classes.
Oh, heck yeah. What is the cutoff for? Is it 180 or something?
Oh, there's weight classes for jiu-jitsu. I mean, it's all every single promotion has their own like weight classes, but the IBJJF, which is like that's like the premier one that like most people want to do. I think the lowest is like 140 or 145, and then I want to say the highest is like I want to say like 285 or something.
Okay,
you know, so like,
is it like 10-pound increments, or where does it
like
go?
10 to 15? Like I think it goes like, I think there's like a one. I think it's like a 140, and then I think it's like a 155. Then next one's 168 and 180. I don't want to say the next one's like 195, like 210 or 215, and I think there's 230, and then I think the 260. I think I could be wrong on that, but yeah, but like every single promotion has. But then there's other promotions where it's just like every 10 pounds, and like it's just like each one has their own one. So just you gotta kind of like plan ahead on which one you're gonna do, and like, you know, like in the past I've done, you know, the 168, but like now that I've put on a lot of weight, I'm like, oh man, me cutting all the way down, because it's 168 on with your gi on, and you have to weigh in right before you compete. So like there's no like,
well, it's like you can go too low and then it's like I have no energy.
And then you have no energy, dude. So like you don't want to do that. So like I've done that before with wrestling, where, you know, because wrestling's the same way, is like you'd have to weigh in, and and then an hour later you're wrestling. So it's like, dude, like, you know, especially if you're going in, like, I just sweat out 8 pounds of water. Like I'm not going to drink a whole gallon of water and feel good in an hour.
Yeah.
You know, if I had 24 hours, like that might be a different story, but most jiu-jitsu things are not going to give you have weigh-ins like that. So you gotta pretty much be kind of ready to go. So like, you know, and being dehydrated is not what you want to do before you go have to fight somebody.
Doing it with the gi, I guess.
I do both. Yeah, I do both. Like this one I'm gonna do, it's 180 with the gi. So it's a gi. There's a gi and no gi divisions, and I'm doing the gi, same weight classes for both, but it's for one, it's 180 with the gi on, I believe, and then I think it's, say, 175 or 176 with no gi. So like, but I'm gonna have to weigh in for both of them on the same day. So it's like I can't, like, you know, go pounding a bunch of water, and like I gotta like kind of be mindful of my weight, which is, you know, can be tough. You know, especially like if you just, you know, rolled a tough match and now you're like, fuck, I'm thirsty, and like, fuck, I don't want to be too heavy. And so I'm looking forward to that one. That one's in the end of September, so I'm gonna do that, and then, you know, I'm hoping I can maybe get on the next CXBJJ, which is October. That'll be cool.
Adam,
hit me up, dude. I want to do it. I need to redeem myself after that last performance. So,
I mean, is there anything that you're doing that, like, just to keep that competition, like that competitive edge going?
I've been so I built out my gym in my garage, but I'm going to American Muscle now, so I can do some ego lifting. No, the one out in House Springs, basically. I don't know. There's just something about being around other people. There's a couple of big dudes in there, but it's like I got to see someone else.
You thought about heavy weights, bodybuilding and stuff like that?
No, I actually had the owner ask me if I had competed or looking at competing. I was like, I don't know if I'm really interested in that. That's crazy dieting and crash dieting before competitions and stuff. I honestly don't know if I even have time for anything like that. I do probably need to get back into basketball and maybe even roll with you a little bit.
Man.
Come on out. I had a ton of fun.
Yeah, dude. the gym I train at's awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, it's amazing there.
They're gonna beat up on the white belts again.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, you're a big dude. So like, where do you live?
I'm in House Springs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we've got some guys that actually live out there and come into the gyms in like
By
Midtown.
Top Golf and
Okay.
City.
yeah. So yeah, it's I mean it's worth the drive in my opinion.
Yeah,
Like it's one of the best gyms in the hands down. I mean, it's got like 5,000 feet of mat space, I think.
Yeah.
Like it's big. I mean, there's a few hundred students, and Kyle's been a black belt for he's got his like 12 plus years. He fought in the UFC. I mean, we got several black belts on the team at this point.
Yeah.
Like it
is wild. When I was
school.
in Texas doing it, I was probably 15 pounds heavier now, but I remember there was might have been 150 pound black belt, and it's like I couldn't do anything. You know what I mean?
No,
It's just wild.
It's for sure.
Half my
I mean,
size.
I know it's crazy. I mean, especially when you get new guys that come in and they think they're a big tough guy, and then they see like a small guy like me, and I be able to ragdoll him around.
Yeah.
It's like definitely feels good for me to be able to beat up a guy that weighs 100 pounds more than me.
Like, yeah.
I mean, I don't get to do that too often.
Give him a good ego boost when he rolls with me.
Yeah.
How do you go down there a little bit too?
Yeah, I've been going about once a week. I need to start going more, but I go about once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but actually, my kids asked me, like, Dad, you should try out for the Savannah Bananas. And I've actually, you know what, like,
Oh
You try out for
yeah.
that?
well,
They're getting huge. They're blowing up.
So, well, one of the pitchers is a kid that I used to coach for the organization that I coach with too. So, good dude, and he played baseball down at SEMO. And yeah, he's been down there, or he's been with them for 2 seasons now. I'm trying to get him to come on the podcast, but my dad, like the boys are like, Dad, do you think you could play for them? And I'm like, boys, if this was like 5, 6, 7 years ago, or 10 years ago, maybe, no, I'd say 10. When I was still playing, possibly, but they're like, I don't know. I think because of like the shape that I'm in now, I feel like I'm in better shape now than I did when I was playing. So I'm like, maybe if I tried to get my arm back in shape, I bet I could get. I don't know. Maybe I should challenge myself to see if I can get back up to 90.
Yeah, how competitive is the actual baseball part of it?
It's competitive. Most of those guys were either high level college or played some level of pro ball.
Okay.
And it's just, I mean, it's guys that are just passionate about the game and they're out there having fun, which I like. It's almost like the Harlem Globetrotters of it, but like they're actually playing games, and that's what I think is cool. Is it's making. I mean, their games, they sell out. Like, I don't think that there's any tickets available for them here. They play 2 games, Friday and Saturday here. And, they draw good crowds. It's very family friendly, and it's making kids want to play baseball again.
Yeah.
And what I like about it is it's because they're doing all these trick plays, they're doing all this stuff, and it's like forcing, or it's like showing kids like, hey, try stuff, like try this thing, try these things. Like now, if one of my players tried to pull a trick play in one of the games we're playing, that's not, now's not the time or place. But it does force them, and if they wanted to do some of that shit in practice, because it does, like, it will make you a better fielder. It'll make you concentrate more. It's challenging you to do new things and make you better, just in a different way. But yeah, I mean, the rule sets are different. Like fans, if a fan catches a foul ball, the batter's out. Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
like the fans are
That's
very,
fun.
like the fans are involved.
All I've seen is the clips. And
like
stuff
they're
of
them dancing and shit.
Yeah.
That's
So
all I've
like-
seen. I was like, they actually play baseball?
Yeah.
That's the first I'm hearing of this.
Right.
That's good.
Yeah. So no, they play. It's an actual game. The way they keep score is different. So like, it's whoever wins the inning gets the point.
Okay.
Except once you get into like this, I think it's the 7th, 8th, and 9th, and it's actual or keeping
Runs.
Score.
That's cool. Gotcha.
So yeah, so like you could have a blowout inning where you're like, oh shit, I just gave up 10 runs, and but the score at that point, if it's the first inning, it's just 1-0. They won that inning. It's not until later in the game that the runs actually start counting.
Sounds like every game's exciting then. 'Cause
Well,
it's
and
close.
2-hour time limit to play 9 innings. I mean, like they're getting the ball and going, and it's. I mean, I watched the first game. Like they're on partner with ESPN, and the boys we sat down and watched one of the games when they played at Fenway Park, and I mean they're cruising. Like one of their stats is like minutes per inning, like how fast they can get through an inning, and all these pitchers are like their minutes per innings are like 4 or 5 minutes
Oh wow.
Damn.
per right. And that's with these trick plays. That's with all of this stuff. And I guess the thing too is like if you're the home team, and say, they don't score a run in the first half and the first guy up hits a home run, you won the inning next inning.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it can go,
that
it can
makes
move
sense.
quick. But like I said, it gets the fans involved because if they catch a foul ball, it's an out, things like that. And they're promoting these trick plays. So it's making the game fun and entertaining for people.
Yeah. So I think we've all been there when we've been in a 3 to 4 hour
Yeah,
game
baseball,
or whatever.
yeah, brutal.
Yeah.
Especially on those hot days.
Right. Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is like, I don't know. I think like I know that I could get up there and throw strikes. I just don't know how hard it would be. But
How's your dancing?
That's the thing. We've got some videos out there on Instagram.
He's a better dancer than me.
I've got some rhythm. I mean, I feel like as like with baseball specifically because of like the timing and the like of your mechanics of the throwing mechanics as well as the hitting mechanics. Yeah. Like I haven't met too many bad like dancers that played baseball because there's like a certain rhythm that you have to be successful and have the mechanics of it and be able to hit a baseball as well as throw a baseball hard. So I don't know. I feel like I got some moves I could do. There's some tricks I can, maybe I will. Maybe I'll submit a tape.
That'd be awesome.
Is that what they require or what's the?
So yeah, so you got to like, you have to submit something and then they have you get invited to the tryouts and like, you actually have to be skilled at baseball to play it, but you also have to have like there's just that, it thing.
There's entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
To it. Yeah.
So
makes sense.
Be like the dad of the bananas. be the ripe banana.
The ripe banana. The brown banana. It's been sitting on the counter for a week and a half.
Wear the Penn's diaper on the mount or some shit.
Something funny like that. Yeah. Walk out there with a walker.
Yeah. Okay. Or a cane or something. Yeah.
That'd be hilarious. Well, Jason, this is it's been a lot of fun, man. Is there anything we didn't get to that you wanted to bring up? Or?
No, that I can think of. So from you guys doing the podcast, what's been your biggest aha moment or that you've learned from talking to all these guys?
Oh man, that's
put you on the spot.
Yeah, put me on the spot. I feel like we've learned so much from. We've had. I mean, we're in the mid 160s, I guess, at this point, and I mean, we've had a lot of people in here.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've learned so much from every single person. I feel like I've learned a lot about myself. I think it's maybe a better communicator. I mean, you're sitting, I'm getting a couple, conversations like this in a week. And I mean, I think it's just going to naturally make you better. The more you do things, the better you get at it. It's just it's reinforced that, just the fact that, the more you do things, the better you're going to get at it. So, I've seen some improvement, with both of us on our ability to ask questions, ask uncomfortable questions, like really get to know people a lot better. Like, I think that's been a big aha thing for me. And it's just something I just want to keep doing. I enjoy it so much. We have a lot of fun with this, and it ends up, great content that we put out on social media. And then, the podcast on YouTube and Spotify does pretty well too. And, I just want to just keep growing it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me is everyone has a story to tell. Like everyone has something to say, whether we find it interesting or not is a different story, but everyone does have a story. And it's been fun figuring out how to get people to tell their stories and coming up with creative ways, to let people get it out of them. I think, there's only been one that we tried our damnedest to get this person to just open up. And to be honest, we were kind of shocked that it didn't, because this person seemed like they had a lot of things that they could go talk deep about or go into and lived a very interesting life, but we were just getting one sentence answers and things like that. But, for the most part, everyone that's come on has been willing to open up and share. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that people want to.
Yeah.
I think people want to be able to tell their stories, and it's just cool to kind of have that outlet to let people do it.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you guys for.
Of course.
Absolutely,
It's been a lot of fun, but we do end the show the same way every time. So before we get you out of here,
play a little game. It's called the Tombstone Game.
Okay.
Here lies Jason. What's it say on your tombstone?
I actually had ChatGPT build this out, and it's like, God, I wish I could remember it now. It's like gone but swole or something. Something stupid. And I sent it to Sam, and she's like, "That's so funny." But I don't know. In seriousness, loving father. To be honest with you, like yourselves, that's the most important thing to me at this point. That's all I'm really worried about. Business comes second. I'm just trying to be a good dad.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing, man. Well, thanks again for coming in, and thanks to everybody that at home that is watching or listening. Please click that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. That would help us out a ton. Pat and I have a goal to get to 500 subscribers on YouTube before the end of 2025. So help us hit that goal. Click that subscribe button. Got anything out of the episode, share it with a friend. Click that like button as well. Comment what you thought below, and we'll see you next time.